Right, how are you doing? It's Dave from Wild Geese. We've been talking for a little while about the way I train the martial arts now. It's, what, 35 now? Started when I was 11, 24 years since I started working on, I started learning karate, gone through Kempo, Philippine martial arts, Wing Chun, Tai Chi, various bits and pieces. Wherever I've travelled, wherever I've lived, I've always found something to train. Dabbled in kickboxing, dabbled in Muay Thai, pretty much a whole array. Mostly the striking arts. Alright, I'm not a natural grappler, I don't particularly enjoy grappling too much. I had the basics of it from some of the Jiu-Jitsu Aikido systems that I've toyed around with. Played with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys here, they just cream me. Same with the Judo lads. But these days I'm busy, I'm real busy. I've got 2 young kids, the business, I'm training clients all day. I was meant to film this yesterday, but I was too busy, constantly on my feet working. Today I've got this 30-minute gap to video this, and then the day goes mental again. So, it's hard to find the time to dedicate to full martial arts training. So what I've done over the years is try and look for the simplest option possible, okay? What is the common thread that links everything together? And it's quite simply boils down to what my karate instructor used to shout at us, week in, week out, for about the 12 years that I trained under him, back when I started. Jack Parker, 3 words he always shouted, and it was this: basics, basics, basics. Alright? That's it. He used to drill us day in, day out. And that has stayed with me forever. That philosophy runs through everything. Basics, basics, basics. Okay? And basically, it all comes down to your hip. The hip turning. Okay? So, whether you're throwing a punch, a hook punch, an elbow, coming in with heel palms, hammers, straights, overheads, uppercuts, nothing matters. If you watch that, this is the same thing that's happening throughout. Okay? Even looking not quite the same, but to a large degree, if you're doing the judo, if you're coming into your throws and your takedowns, it's still there, alright? Maybe not quite as dominant as it will be in the striking arts, but it's still there. So, if you can only ever do one thing, it's train that hip movement, okay? And the simplest drill is turn the hip and let the arms shift, okay? You're planting your weight, you're rotating in the hip, okay? Make sure the knee doesn't rotate, okay? You want that knee to stay tracking the toes, so you rotate into the hip. As you do so, your weight drops. You push out of that, that'll bring you back to the middle, and then you drop into the other leg, okay? If you leave your arms loose and relaxed, they will start to whip, okay? Now if you're into your traditional Chinese medicine, this hand is beating up against the chest, you've got lymph nodes up here, meridians, acupressure points, whatever, but yeah, there are lymph nodes up here, you're beating them, stimulating them. This hand is coming around and it'll be hitting into the kidneys. Now you're not beating yourself up, you're just tapping, alright? These are supposed to stimulate the chi energy, the vital energy, whatever else. Whether you're into that or not, that's your choice, but it is nice. It is actually quite therapeutic, okay? So these are just coming around. Arms are completely loose, okay? The movement is generated from the legs and the hip, okay? Make it a bit more powerful, Okay, so your weight is shifting. Now all my weight, you can see, is in this leg. I shift to this side, all my weight is shifted to that leg. Somewhere in the middle, my weight is now somewhere in the middle, okay? Never off balance. I'm rotating, okay? The body is shifting, from the center point here onto one leg, onto the other leg, and rotating at the same time, okay? That's it. That's the centerpiece, that's the core of all my martial arts training. Now, that's basically working the engine, okay? What your hands do, if you compare it to a car, you know, if this is the engine, the transmission, that's where your power is, okay? It's the tyres on the car that make contact with the road. You can change the tyres, you can change the wheels, but if the engine isn't working, it's no use to anybody, alright? So I can change this to a heel palm, a punch, a vertical punch, horizontal punch, an uppercut, an overhand, an elbow. None of that matters to me in the slightest, alright? It's all the same, alright? It's same thing even, you know, this is your movement here. That brings me round into a kick should I want to, alright? That brings me through into a knee, alright? This is it, this is the engine, this is the bit that matters, alright? There's no point working fancy hand combinations, you know, arm punching, you know, get hands really quick. Look how fast I am when there's nothing happening behind it, okay? This is fairly soft bag, it's not an idea I want to demonstrate. But even with completely relaxed arm and that movement, you know, you can put a fair bit of juice into that, okay? This here gives me this way, the return gives me your backhand strikes, okay? Excuse me. This is the return here, gives you your backhand strike. Shove on the other side, a bit simpler, alright? Put the two of them together. Come on. And that's barely controlling the arms, that's just putting a basic bit of shape into them, alright? You start adding in there and back, straight strikes, straights into elbows, you know, and you can add your combinations, load this way, pop back this way, okay? Everything else comes off that, alright? But it all starts with this, and this is, in my opinion, the most important of all the drills, okay? It's also a nice one to do fairly slow, nice and relaxed, with deep breathing, for chilling out after a training session. Yeah, it's a nice drill to do in your warm-ups. It's a good drill if you have nothing else to do. If you've got time for much else, that's where it's at, alright? In my opinion, unless you're training, you know, the greater, you know, you've got the time to put into the bigger picture of the martial art, you'd be training all your other movements, but that to me is the foundation, and that's the whole philosophy behind the way I train these days, okay? So for everybody who's been asking me, I hope that's been of service. Feel free to take that idea and add it into your own training, alright? Feel free to drop me comments and questions, either below in the comments here or over on Facebook, whatever else, alright? We'll be filming more martial arts videos in the near future. Hope you enjoyed it, thank you.